Bee Digger starting lineup is brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Available 24/7 for your banking needs. That's Equitable Savings and Loan as the Bee Diggers go with junior Sydney Odell. The senior in the middle, Molly Link, along with Haley Unrein. Unrein is a junior. Maddie Rule, a junior. And Allie Keller, a senior. As for Weld Central, they are countering with Isabella Leet, a junior, along with senior Emily Bucco, Jordan McClure, a senior, Christina Gherkin, who's a senior. We'll get the fifth player here coming up momentarily. I believe that might be Michaela Ruppel. The Bee Diggers are dressed in their home whites, coached by Kaylin Hollander, and Weld Central in their road reds. They're coached by James Canaday. I think Coach Canaday's the football coach, too. I'm pretty sure he's the...
I think he is.
And Weld Central had a heck of a season, by the way, this year. They pulled off a big win against Platte Valley. Now, they lost in the opening round of the playoffs, but for a Weld Central program that for many years struggled to even have a winning season in football, they certainly had a good one in 2016.
Well, about the last time I think they were really successful was probably back in 2005. I mean, that's when they had Kyle Bell back there and
that's right.
State in rushing. And
yeah, Brush still beat them that year. Remember that? That was at the old stadium in Keensburg, and a very dim one at that. Opening tip is brought to you by Buildings by Design, the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. All right, Michaela Brofsky is the other starter there for Weld Central. Maddie Rule controls the opening tip. Here's Allie Keller on the outside right with a basketball. Guarded loosely over there by Isabella Leet. Bounce pass on the outside right over there to Link. Back out to Keller. Dribbles to her left towards the top. Swings to the left side to Rule in the left corner for Odell. Back to her right. Cross-court pass to Keller. Bounce pass right baseline. The jump pass down low, and Elliott lays it up and in. And that was a beautiful feed from Molly Link. And Kendall Elliott scores. And the ball barely hit the floor, and then the ball is thrown away in the backcourt by Weld Central. And the Bee Diggers have the basketball. Well, we talked about a slow start on Tuesday night. First 30 seconds have been brilliant for Brush here on a Friday night.
And a great way to start the season or this game off with getting points scored under the basket.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? You're right. We were talking about the outside shooting that carried them against Bennett. Here's Maddie Rule on the outside right. Cross court to Odell. Left baseline. Here's Molly Link. Up top, Allie Keller inside the three-point line. In and out. Misses the 19-footer, and the rebound is into the hands of Isabella Leet. Here comes Weld Central into the front court with the basketball and a long three by Bucco. That's going to be short, and the rebound, it's going to be loose on the floor. Actually, Link had it, but there's a tie up there between Sydney Odell and Emily Bucco. Possession arrow goes to Weld Central as the Bee Diggers control the opening tip of the game. And to throw it in three-quarters court will be Bucco. Bucco looking towards the top is going to feed Isabella Leet on the outside left. She'll handle the basketball the majority of the time for the Rebels. Bounce pass at the free throw line for Gherkin. Puts it up off the glass and no good. And Sydney Odell had the rebound, lost it. It's taken and missed over there, and the ball is loose, and Maddie Rule has it for Brush as the shot was missed over there by Bucco. And here's Rule the other way, stripped out of bounds as she was driving towards the basket. Stripped away by Christina Gherkin. Bee Digger basketball.
Well, Brush did a great job that last possession under the basket. They're playing a man defense, and they just decided they'd go ahead and line up with the girls and go with them and move, and it's paid off for them so far.
Keller bounce pass in the cross court to Odell on the high right. She'll take a long one. That's well off to the left. In fact, it did nothing but the bottom of the glass. And the rebound is into the hands of Michaela Brofsky. Weld Central the other way. Bounce pass on the outside left and nearly through the hands of Bucco. Now on the high right, taken by Gherkin. Gherkin hands it off over there to Leet. Just moving the ball around back to Bucco. On the outside right to Brofsky. Maintains the dribble, looking. Feeds it back out in the right corner. They're just working it slowly, trying to look down low. And there's the pass to McClure, who banks it in. A patient feed there to Jordan McClure. And the game is tied at 2. 5:53 to go in the opening quarter. Keller on the high right at the top for Odell. Then she throws it right into the hand of a Rebel. Telegraphed that pass completely. The Bee Diggers turn it over for a second time. Here comes Weld Central the other way. On the high right, Broski with the basketball. Here is Gherkin, right baseline. She's trapped over there by Link. She turns, has to kick it back out, does over there to Bucco. She's not going to take the three. Bucco dribbling to her right, gets a pick, takes a 15-footer. Yes! Emily Bucco scores, and Weld Central leads for the first time 4-2. 5:19 to go, opening quarter from Brush. Rule at the top, swings it in the right corner to Link. She'll put up a long one. That's going to be short, and the ball is into the hands of the Rebels, and Isabella Leet with her second board. Leet into the front court on the high right to Bucco. Bucco gets a pick from McClure, looks for McClure, and then throws it into the hands of Elliott. Second turnover for the Rebels. Elliott by herself across the timeline at the top of the three-point circle. Feeds it back out of the bounce to Keller. Keller with 4:49 to go first quarter. Weld Central leads 4-2. Odo cut off on the right baseline. Bounce pass. Boy, that was a terrible pass. Intended for Elliott. Intercepted there by Bucco, and her shot is blocked out of there, and the ball is loose. It's pinballed into the hands of Allie Keller. Keller comes the other way for the B-Diggers. Keller squeezes in between two, slithers, and is fouled. That was an excellent move by Keller, because if she went right into the defender, it would have been an offensive foul, but she curled her body in the lane. These will be the first free throws of the game. Bucco commits the foul for Weld Central.
And the Brush girls, as they're coming down court playing defense, they've got to get back there with their man on the breaks. They're not get down the court quick enough to defend against them. And it's a lot of sloppy play on some of the passes, not anticipating where the ball is going to be. So they got to settle down a little bit now.
And the first substitution by the B-Diggers is Aurora Thomas replaces Kendall Elliott. First free throw by Keller is in. And the second one is going to be deep. And the long rebound is going to be controlled over there by Christina Gherkin of Weld Central. On the outlet, here comes Isabella Leet on the outside left of Broski. Now to Leet. Leet near the top of the basketball. B-Diggers defending loosely. They're barely across the timeline here with Bucco back to Broski. Bounce pass to Gherkin, spinning at the top against Thomas. Hands it back out to Leet. Bounce pass in the lane to McClure to her right. Tries to hook it up, and it's blocked by Molly Link, but then it's off of B-Diggers. Rule tried to save it in, but threw it off of Keller accidentally. And Weld Central retains possession. Here comes Maddie Kerr for Brush, and she replaces Allie Keller, and we know the B-Diggers' depth.
Yeah, we're looking for, Maddie comes in, things seem to happen.
Bounce pass down low for Leet, but she's going to have to back it out on the dribble. Isabella Leet maintains the dribble, gets a pick. 17-footer is off to the right, and the one-hop rebound into the hands of Aurora Thomas of Brush. Here come the B-Diggers the other way. Thomas back out to Kerr. Free throw line Link. On the outside left, there's Rule. Back out to Odell. Straight away, Kerr. She'll take the three, and that's off the back of the rim. And Leet has her third rebound for Weld Central. Rebels come the other way, leading 4-3. 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. Leet had the ball tipped out of bounds, trying to outlet over there to Broski. 3/4 court, Weld Central to throw it in with 3.5 to go officially now. It was about 3:33 before. Anyway, to throw it in is Bucco. Bounce pass left corner for Leet. Long three. That's going to hit the side of the backboard, nearly go in. And the putback is up and missed by Gherkin. And Maddie Rule has the rebound for the B-Diggers. And now we have a timeout called by Brush, brought to you by Greg Bowen at State Farm Insurance. 8:42:45:55. Ron, I mentioned good start. It was really a good 30-second start offensively, because now the B-Diggers have not scored a bucket in 4 minutes.
Well, yeah, and the big thing that I noticed in this game is they're rebounding. They're not, when Weld Central's shooting the ball, they're not getting in the position to rebound. And on their shots, nobody's going to the basket and boxing out like they did in the first 30 seconds of the game. So they've got to get back to those basics, and then things will start turning around for them. It almost looks like they came out relaxed, and then all of a sudden they got tight. And they're back, and they're not in their relaxed mode. You know, we've got Maddie Kerr back in here, and we've also got Aurora Thomas in right now. So let's see if they can kind of get the offense settled down and maybe get some points back in the bucket.
Well, that was a 50-42 game on Tuesday night, but Brush was down 9-7 after one. Had that pace continued, there's no way one team gets to 50. And it looks like it could be similar right now in this game. Odo on the outside left fakes the three. Back out to Kerr. Dribble, steps in. 15-footer, good. Maddie Kerr scores, and the B-Diggers now have the lead at 5-4. Maddie Kerr was the spark plug, and now she has a steal in the backcourt. Bounce pass to Odo, and she's fouled as she misses. And a foul was committed by Isabella Leet. That's her first, and Weld Central, like Brush, has committed 3 turnovers And Maddie Kerr, again, not only doing it offensively, but defensively. That's what you expect out of the senior leader.
Great court awareness on Maddie, knowing where that ball is going to be passed in, and at the last minute just jumping up and getting her hands in there, blocking it, and getting it right back to Odell for her to shoot these 2 baskets. Excellent job.
Free throw by Odell, swish. Bee Diggers lead 6-4, 3:01 to go in the opening quarter here from the Digger Dome. Final game in Brush in 2016. Second free throw's off to the right. It rolls off. And the rebound is controlled by Emily Bucco, her first. There's the outlet to Leet. Leet across the timeline, dribbling high left, getting a pick from McClure. On the left baseline, free throw line, McClure into the lane, and she's fouled on the floor by Molly Link. That'll be the first team foul against the Bee Diggers. Weld Central's committed 2. Here comes another Bee Digger into the game, and Haley Unrein, making her first appearance. Bucco to throw it in, and her pass is tipped in there, taken away by Maddie Rule. Rule with one behind her, dribbles to her right, bounce pass, right baseline to Unrein, tries to save it in, ball is loose, and it's picked up by Link, and she scores. A little 13-footer straight away by Molly Link. A little bit of a mess there, but it still went down for the Bee Diggers, and Maddie Kerr knocks it out of bounds on the inbounds pass, and that score is incorrect, by the way.
Yep.
They've got that score completely wrong. That should be 8-4 in favor of Brush. And to throw it in will be Emily Bucco. Let's see, they'll get that corrected here with 2:24 to go in the opening quarter. A bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. On the cutting edge of banking, Morgan Federal Bank. Hopefully they'll correct that later because apparently they can't get it done now. But it is 8-4 in favor of Brush. And the ball is loose on the floor at the top, and now they finally have it. And jump ball situation, possession arrow, Bee Diggers. And I'm going to say this, Ron, because we saw quite a few on Tuesday night. Anytime you have an inordinate number of jump balls, it's at that point it does not turn into a good basketball game. You need to keep the flow. This shouldn't be roller derby or something like that where you're just bodies are flying and things like that. Yeah, that's one of the big differences, by the way. I'm sorry, Ron, between the boys' game and the girls' game. You rarely see a jump ball on the boys' side. The girls' side is a different story.
Yep, definitely.
Thomas in the left corner, cross-court pass taken by Kerr. Kerr dribbling to her right, in the right corner for Keller, who's back into the game. Then her overhead pass is tipped away, but Keller's able to chase it down, back to Kerr. On the left wing to Unrein. Here is Aurora Thomas with 2:05 to go on the high right. Bee Diggers being patient, which I like. Keller, 3 in the corner, is going to be well short. Looked like it got part of the glass, and Emily Bucco has the basketball. As patient as they were, it wasn't the best shot. Here's Bucco into the front court, right of the lane, right baseline, all the way, scoops it up short, and the ball is loose, taken by Isabella Leet. Leet to McClure, looked like she traveled, no whistle, puts it up an air ball, and then there's a foul on Weld Central. Going over the back was Christina Gherkin.
Brush has went away from, I know they're passing the ball around on the perimeter, but they went away from the inside game. And I think, number one, Molly's is sitting out, and so is Maddie Rule. And that was some of the big contributors early in the game. Molly had 2 baskets underneath.
Here's Allie Keller into the front court to Maddie Kerr. Kerr trapped over there, and then she's bodied up and fouled. That's a silly foul at midcourt over there by, did they call it travel? They did.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, I thought it was a legitimate contact. Instead, the Bee Diggers commit their 4th turnover. Here comes Weld Central. I guess they're saying she flopped a little bit. On the outside left, Bucco with the basketball, guarded loosely by Keller. Maintains the dribble now near the timeline. That's Michaela Ruppel into the game for the first time. Getting a pick in the lane as Lee puts up a 15-foot floater. It's partially blocked, taken away by Gherkin, stripped away by Keller, and now we get another foul. Watch out, boy. There was
elbows flying there.
Yeah, you got to be careful there.
I just love Maddie's aggressiveness. I mean, Maddie Kerr is not she's not backing down at all.
She's a terrific athlete. I've been saying that for the last 3 years, just watching her play. In the left corner, Ruppel with a basketball. And then she nearly lost it. Kerr's on the floor and ties her up. And the Bee Diggers will be back on defense there. A careless dribble there by Ruppel as Weld Central has the possession arrow pointing in their direction. And Bucco to throw it into Leeds. 1:07 to go opening quarter. Brush leads Weld Central 8-4. There's the 3 straight away. And it's off to the left and a foul, and that's not a good one by Kerr. That is a very bad foul there against Isabella Leet. No reason to be that aggressive. That's her 2nd foul. Leet will shoot 3, and Kerr's going to be out of the game with her 2nd foul. Here comes Sydney Odell.
Yeah, she'd already let that ball go out of her hand. There was no need for Maddie to touch her. It's almost like a defensive end coming in and hitting a quarterback after he's thrown the ball, and he's sitting back there.
Oh, my bad. They're going to say it's on the floor after the shot. All right, well, that's a break for the Bee Diggers. That's the third team foul, but still it gets Maddie on the bench. She's too good of a player to be there. Bucco on the outside left to Leet. Left baseline pass tipped away by Thomas, taken by Gherkin. Gherkin with a right-handed dribble. Left corner, Pete, 3, good. That's Isabella Leet, not Pete. It's 8-7. Should be 8-7. Now the board says
8-6.
All right, I don't know what's happening here. There you go.
There we go.
Well, obviously, we got a new scorekeeper tonight, and the 3 is going to be an air ball by Thomas. And it's out of bounds. It's knocked off a Weld Central Rebel. And to throw it in will be Allie Keller with 31.9 seconds to go. Keller looking down low, feeds it left corner for Elliott. Bounce pass to Odell. Left corner, Keller, wide open 3. And it's around and good. It got the rim and it got the glass. It went in for Allie Keller. She leads all scores with 4. 11-7 Brush. 20 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Trapped in the backcourt, now breaking the press is going to be Bucco. Bucco drops the ball, gets it back, spinning. 12 seconds to go. Straight away, Leet 3 again. Yes, she hits another 3. Isabella Leet now has 6. The lead is down to 1 at 11-10. Keller at midcourt with 2 seconds to go with 1. Puts up a long 3. In and out. Joel was halfway down. And that's the end of the opening quarter with a score. Brush 11, Weld Central 10. How about a 1-minute break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. In the first of 2, the Brush Lady Bee Diggers lead the Weld Central Rebels 11-10. John Beltran back at the Digger Dome with Ron Albo. Good, solid, competitive quarter so far. Or now that the quarter's over, but the offense has got going late in the first quarter, Ron.
Yeah, it took them a while. They started off early, and then all of a sudden they kind of went in a little bit of a lull. Now they got themselves back on track again. So
here comes Allie Keller with the basketball on the outside right to Odell. Odell to Keller on the outside left to Maddie Rule. Maddie Rule cross court to Odell, dribbles right of the lane, then she puts up a shot off the glass and no good. And the ball is tipped around into the hands of Elliott. She goes up with the left hand and misses. Ball is knocked out of bounds by Michaela Ruppel of Weld Central. Bee Diggers retain possession. And to trigger it in will be Sydney Odell. In the left corner for Elliott. Kicks it back out of the bounce to Rule. Straight away Keller. Wide open. Doesn't take it. Odell dribbles to her right on the right baseline. Looking at the top for Rule's 3. And it's inside the 3. Misses. And the rebound by Link puts it up and in. Molly Link scores. Off the rebound. She's got 4. Bee Diggers lead 13-10. Steal by Keller. And what happened there? A double dribble.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. I didn't see the double dribble, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't.
But
he called it really quick.
Yeah. Bucco to throw it into the backcourt. Going to feed it over there to Christina Gherkin. Will set the Bee Digger lineup. And the Rebel lineup, Ruppel is out there along with Jordan McClure. Bounce pass is intercepted at the free throw line by Rule. She's got a 3-on-3. On the left wing, here's Allie Keller. She traveled. So the teams exchange turnovers. And the Bee Diggers still up by 3, 53 seconds into the second. Bucco to trigger it in. Backcourt bounce pass over there to Emily Lead, back to Bucco. At the top there now is Bucco off of the Christina Gherkin pass. And then she's fouled by Allie Keller. That's the 14th foul for Keller, her first.
Well, Allie was sliding with her and just got in front, didn't get her feet set, so it's going to be a foul call right there.
First appearance in the game for Weld Central's Allie Daniel. And Maddie Kerr back in the game with 2 fouls. Bounce pass right baseline for McClure against Elliott. Looked like she double dribbled. There was no whistle. Now there's the whistle. And that's turnover number 6 for Weld Central. Here come the Bee Diggers the other way. It's been tight throughout for the first 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Roll on the outside left, looking, spinning on the high right to Odell, right baseline to Elliott. She dribbles right in the lane, lost the basketball, and it's taken away by the Rebels. And then the Bee Diggers take it away with Kerr, and then they have it tipped away. I mean, this is not good basketball here early in the second. 3 turnovers in a span of 5 seconds there. On the high right, Ruppel guarded by Kerr, looking down low for McClure, spinning. The bounce pass intercepted, well, momentarily was, but Ruppel now has it for Weld Central. She puts up a shot right baseline. It's off the back of the rim, and the ball is off of Isabella Lead out of bounds. Bee Digger basketball, and again, I just don't think there's a flow to this game at all.
No, there's not a flow at all. We're just
choppy.
It ended after about the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the first quarter.
And look at Odell having trouble handling the basketball. Back out of the outside right to Rule. Rule steps in, 3-pointer is off the back of the rim. And the ball is tipped to the hands of Elliott. She throws up an air ball. And then Jordan McClure has it for Weld Central. Long baseball pass and laying it up and missing it, a foul. As the Bee Diggers commit the foul on the other end.
That, I believe, was the first foul on Elliott. And she played the entire first quarter, and she started the second quarter. So that's her first foul on her, which is actually not too bad, given the time she's been in the game already.
Isabella lead at 2 3-pointers in the opening quarter. And her free throw is in and out and in. The Digger lead is 2 at 13-11. Just over 2 minutes into the second quarter. Second free throw is good. The player that came in for Brush wearing 12. All right. Anyway, the Bee Diggers have it. Maddie Rule jump pass in the left corner. Back out to Rule. Here's right baseline to Maddie Kerr, right of the lane, puts up a little 10-footer and misses. And the rebound and putback, and that's partially blocked. And then the putback by Link is missed. And then it's taken away by Michaela Rupel.
I believe that girl is Cameron Leffler, if that's how you pronounce her name.
Yep. Here's a three by Leet the other way. That's off the back of the rim. And Leffler has the rebound for the Bee Diggers. Good, strong, aggressive player. 13-12 Brush. Here's Odell the other way for the Bee Diggers. With a basketball at the top for Rule. To her right to Odell. Odell dribbles to her left. Picks up the dribble. Bounce pass to Link inside. She turns. Bounce pass to Rule. Rule in the lane. Hooks it up and in off the glass. And to the line, and the Bee Diggers lead by 3. And Maddie Rule scores for the first time in the game. Jordan McClure commits her first foul. And now we'll have a substitution as Christina Gherkin is back into the game for Allie Daniel. Free throw coming up for Maddie Rule. And that one is in. And the Bee Diggers have their biggest lead of 4. 16-12. McClure, left baseline for Gherkin. All the way, scoops it up, hit the bottom of the rim, and then she puts it back up and in. And she's fouled, and I think Leffler got her.
Yeah, Leffler was sliding underneath the basket to stop that drive, and she had her feet set, did a great job of stopping the first shot, but then on the second shot, she got a hold of her hand.
Gherkin to the stripe. She's already got 4 rebounds as well. And they haven't put the points up there.
We're a little off in all aspects tonight, aren't we?
I'm glad Ron said it better than I did. Free throw is around and good. And the lead is down to 1, 16-15. Bounce pass, Thomas, backcourt to Keller. Baseball pass taken right of the lane to Elliott. She's got a wide open 15-footer and threw it off to the right. Ball is tipped around. Wooliver nearly had it. Elliott is fouled. That's going to be the 15th foul. And it's committed over there by Jordan McClure, her second. And that's a big one because she's a good, strong player out there. Keller to throw it in with 5:01 to go in the second. Bee Diggers up by 1. Right corner, Elliott puts up a rainbow, and that's going to hit the top of the backboard. And it's taken away by Gherkin. Gherkin with her 5th rebound. Weld Central could reclaim the lead with 4:47 to go. Long three, lead is up and off to the left. However, the long rebound is claimed by Bucco in the corner. Bucco into the lane. She hooks it up, and that's off to the right. And then wrestling the ball away was Aurora Thomas. Thomas for Brush, feeds it towards Haley Unrein. She's got to turn around there. Did not, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, when you're on that break like that, you got to kind of know where the ball's going to be coming, and you got to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's certainly on the receiver, not on the passer. Weld Central the other way, and we've got a defensive foul right at midcourt as Elliott took a chance there of taking a charge, instead commits her second foul. Now the Bee Diggers have got to be concerned here. They got a couple of players with 2 fouls and 2 key players in Maddie Kerr and Kendall Elliott. And now Molly Link is back in for Elliott, and that's the 17th foul. So at the line will be, I believe that's Bucco, it is, for the 1-and-1. Scored a couple of points in the opening quarter, and now she ties the game. Rominger Jewelry and Gifts is the leader in Northeast Colorado for diamonds, jewelry, watches, and expert jewelry repair in downtown Sterling. Second free throw for Emily Bucco is up, and that is off to the left. And the ball is loose and grabbed by Wooliver, and then she is fouled. That's going to be the 16th foul. Christina Gherkin commits her second. So both teams have 2 players with 2 fouls. And the Bee Digger timeout brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Home Auto Life and Health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. 842-4555, just past the top of the hour. This is 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Marino, and KSIR.com. John Beltran with Ron Albo. And we have no idea which direction the game is going to go because it's Bee Diggers had a 16-12 lead. Weld Central's come back with the last 4 points. But if we can see, Ron, I think a good continuous 3 minutes of basketball without turnovers, without jump ball situations, then it might flow in the right direction. But we haven't seen that over an extended period here.
No, and I know with Coach calling a timeout there, I'm sure she talked to her girls about that. But then we come out and make a silly mistake like this right off the bat and turn the ball over right back to Weld Central. So,
yep, traveling violation on Wolliver, who was unguarded in the backcourt, just picked up the back foot, and the Bee Diggers have now committed 10 turnovers. Weld Central has 7. 3/4 court. Bucco to throw it in. Bounce past Elite. Lead guarded by Keller near the top. Lobs it in the lane to McClure, threw her hands out of bounds, and that's a turnover on the Rebels. And, I mean, these teams are mirroring each other at times with the turnovers and some of these mistakes. And now Weld Central makes a substitution into the game. Let's see, for the first time for the Rebels, it's Katie Schmidt. Here's Allie Keller right of the lane, throws it up, hits nothing but glass. And then it's Jordan McClure with the ball here for the Weld Central Rebels. Under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. And then the pass to McClure went off her leg, taken by Thomas. Thomas on the outside right to Keller, right of the lane, bounce pass, right baseline to Unrein, back out to Keller. On the outside right to Thomas. Swings it cross court to Unrein, left corner for Rule. Rule back out to Thomas. It's a wide open right wing three, and it's an air ball. It's the bottom of the net. Rule tries to save it in, but it's on the end line.
Well, it looks like we're just trying to take our chances and shoot the ball from the outside. We're not setting up anything underneath the basket at all, and so, I mean, that's fine, but it's not proved to be very successful if we go back to what we did early in the game.
Yeah, when Kendall Elliott had a bucket about 20 seconds in, right underneath the basket. Weld Central trying to break the pressure. Schmidt in the backcourt to lead with the shot by, that's actually Leet, and that's missed. It was Bucco that had it momentarily, and wrestling the ball away is Molly Link with a rebound. That's going to be her third on the outlet to Maddie Rule. Rule across the timeline at the top, and she turned the ball over. That was one of those carrying violations. And Brush has 7 turnovers in the quarter. Weld Central with 6. And both teams, quite frankly, are playing awful in this quarter because you've combined for 11 points and 13 turnovers, and that's not working either way.
No.
There's the lob into the front court. Leet with a 2-on-1. The bounce pass to McClure. She lays it up and misses an easy shot. And Maddie Rule comes away with it for Brush. Rule with a long baseball pass. Poked out of bounds by Schmidt. Bee Diggers retain possession.
Well, we're throwing the ball into a 3-on-1 coverage down there, and things don't really happen that are good for you when you do that. You got to have more people down court.
Odell to throw it in. Sydney looking, and she lobs it to Schmidt. Here is Leet with a long baseball pass by herself, banks and scores. Wow.
She just snuck in behind the rest of our defense there and went down court, and that's why she was wide open.
And another steal in the backcourt by Schmidt. On the outside left, Schmidt gets it from Leet. Dribbling to her right, back out to Bucco. Bucco dribbling right of the lane. She's cut off. Now she puts up a 10-footer, and that's off the bottom of the net. And Maddie Rule, check it, Maddie Kerr has it for Brush across the timeline at the top. On the outside left to Rule. Rule back out to Kerr. I think they're swinging it around decently around the perimeter, but you got to make those passes down low as well. Here's Sydney Odell dribbling right baseline. She's cut off. Back out to Thomas. She'll take the three. There you go for Aurora Thomas. She scores for the outside. Bee Diggers reclaim the lead, 19-18, 2:08 to go. Steal by Kerr, puts it up left baseline. She misses, and she's fouled, and that was careless passing by Weld Central there.
Yeah, definitely, and Maddie Kerr was right there anticipating where that pass would be and took the ball right out of her hands.
Isabella Leet commits her second. Maddie Kerr to the line. Remember, we talked about all the free throws the other night. We've been limited.
Yes.
Here in this opening half. And the free throw by Kerr is good. Now the Bee Diggers are on a mini 4-0 run and lead by a deuce. And back into the game is Michaela Rupel. Amber Stratman checks in for the Bee Diggers, supplanting Sydney Odell. And Brush is all of a sudden on a little run here as Maddie Kerr takes and makes the second free throw. She's got 4 in the game. The B-Diggers lead by 3. Allie Keller checks back in. Keller, Rule, Stratman, Thomas, and Link. Running the baseline of the Rebels in the backcourt with a basketball is Emily Bucco. Bucco spinning on Keller. Back out to Ruppel. Baseball pass. It's going to be caught by Schmidt at midcourt. She'll dribble across the timeline. It was nearly picked off by Link. Bucco near the top of the basketball. Minute 51 to go, second quarter. Brush 21, Weld Central 18. Allie Keller's got to watch out. Nearly committed a foul with a body there against Ruppel. Spinning as Ruppel, lobbing towards Bucco and tipped by Maddie Rule. And then there was contact there by Rule in the backcourt. And that's going to be her first foul, 18th foul. And to the line will be Emily Bucco. She took a chance with a steal. Couldn't come up with it. And now Katie Monsey is in for Weld Central for the first time of the game.
What I'd like to see them do this last minute and a half is put those 5 starters back in again and see if they can get back on some kind of a rhythm like they had early in the game. I mean, I know we had some foul issues, but it's a minute and a half in the game. I think we can take a chance then.
Free throws off the back of the rim, rebounded by Thomas, her third. Long baseball pass, left baseline for Keller. Nice catch over there. Back out to Rule. She'll take the 3. Yes! Maddie Rule with a triple. And now the B-Diggers are really getting going here, leading 24-18. And we got a timeout, Weld Central. With a minute 24 to go before the break, and the B-Diggers lead by 6. We'll keep it right here since we're just shy of halftime. It is a full timeout. But all of a sudden, the B-Diggers are on an 8-0 run, Ron.
Well, you know that you take a chance of getting that ball to the perimeter and take a chance, and if you got a good shot and you take it and you make it 3 points, you're getting yourself right back in the game again and distancing yourself. So that's not a bad opportunity for them. But it still hasn't been as clean as we want to see a basketball game, and I'm sure Coach Hollander is the same way. But those are the things you got to just work out during the season right now, early in the year. So. We're going to have a couple of good games and then a couple of sloppy games. So,
well, it's turned good right now for the last minute plus. Now let's see if Brush can finish here in the second quarter with 84 seconds to go. But what's the other thing we just talked about with the 3 by Thomas?
Yes.
The 3 by Rule. That should open up the inside game.
Yep.
And if that doesn't open up the inside game, then you're really not executing the offense the way you want to.
Yeah.
Because eventually they're going to come out and guard those threes. All right, to throw it in right in front of the Weld Central benches, Bucco. Bucco gets it in, back to Bucco, off the feed there towards Daniel at midcourt. Into the front court with the basketball is Katie Schmidt. Bounce pass, free throw line, McClure straight away. Here's the Bucco 3 off the bottom of the rim, and the ball is loose, still loose. Katie Schmidt had it, but what's the whistle? I think it went off of Link.
Yeah, I think it did go off her shoulder.
It will be Weld Central basketball with a minute 9 to go here in the opening half. Bounce pass in the right corner. That's Allie Daniel for Weld Central. Daniel double teamed over there, has to get rid of it. Dribbles right baseline against Thomas, puts up a floater, and it's an air ball. Allie Keller has it for the B-Diggers. Let's see if the B-Diggers can demonstrate the patience they've had here over the last minute plus. Keller with the basketball. There's the lob to Thomas. Thomas fakes it. Back out to Keller. Keller in the left corner to Rule. She'll take the 3, and it's off to the left. She gets her own rebound, puts it up and in! Maddie Rule scores again. The B-Diggers lead by 8, 26-18. And Maddie Rule has 8 points in a quarter. Ball is dribbled off the right foot there. Michaela Ruppel out of bounds, and the B-Diggers force a turnover. Keep in mind, 17 combined turnovers in the quarter, 9 by Brush, 8 by Weld Central. B-Diggers could go up by double figures here. Who would have thought that at this point? Here's the Thomas 3, and that's going to be off to the left. And that rebound is controlled over there by Bucco. Bucco hitting the boards again with her 4th rebound, looking for the outlet feed Schmidt. Schmidt in the backcourt, back out to Ruppel, crosses the timeline. 11 seconds to go before the break. Guarded by Stratman on the outside left of Bucco. 7 seconds to go. Entry pass over the left hand, the right hand of Katie Monsey out of bounds. Another turnover for Weld Central. All right, here we go, Ron. 6.3 seconds to go. And I'm sure Maddie Rule knows the time on the clock here. Here's the roll into Rule. Rule with the basketball. Roll on the outside left to Thomas. 2 seconds to go. The 3 in the corner is short by Allie Keller. And that's the end of the opening half. With the score, the B-Diggers 26 and the Weld Central Rebels 18. How about a 3-minute break for the Digger Dome and Brush in the first of two on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Lady Bee Diggers lead 26-18 over the Weld Central Rebels. I'm John Beltran with Ron Albo. Let's go to the second half here in Brush, where the Bee Diggers, Ron, carry a 10-0 run over to the third quarter. Let's not forget that. They have all the momentum here, but that's the bad thing about halftime. They actually stop the Brush momentum unless they can make a couple of buckets here and just keep it going. So here we go. Weld Central with the basketball. It's Isabella Leet, Emily Bucco with the basketball now. On the outside left is Michaela Brovsky. She sat for a lot of that first half. Christina Gherkin, and then Jordan McClure hooks and scores on the left baseline. She's tough. Got to watch her. She only scored 2 in the opening half, but she's got a lot of ability. 26-20. Bee Diggers come the other way. Maddie Rule out there with Allie Keller. Sydney Odell, right wing, scores. Little 15-footer for Sydney Odell, her first field goal. Kendall Elliott also out there, and Molly Link. On the outside right, Bee Diggers back up by 8. Bucco, right baseline shot is blocked out of bounds by none other than Maddie Rule. And it will be Weld Central basketball. Bucco to throw it in.
It's got to make you feel good when the Diggers take their first shot of the second half and they put it in the basket.
Weld Central misses there. Gherkin, but banking and missing as Jordan McClure. She missed an easy shot, and Link could not control the basketball. I'm telling you, Ron, that's the one concern, that Jordan McClure, she gets going.
Yep.
It's a brand new ball game. She should have not missed that one. It was too easy, and Bucco to throw it in. Lobs it towards McClure, but it's taken by Brovsky instead at the top. On the outside right to Bucco. Bucco dribbling to her right behind the three-point line. Bounce pass to McClure in the lane. Double team. Back out. Bucco, 3 in the air, is off to the left. And the ball is tipped into the hands of Molly Linker, 4th rebound. And then the backcourt pass is saved in by Brovsky momentarily, but no, it was on the end line. Bee Digger basketball. But again, it's making those passes.
Yep.
Either bounce or pass fake, so that doesn't happen.
No, they got to be more consistent on those and more careful, especially on that sideline there.
The Bee Diggers can grab a 10-point lead with a bucket or an 11-point lead with a 3. Allie Keller back out to Maddie Rule. On the outside left, here's Elliott. Elliott double team, feeds it down low to Rule, and she hooks and scores. That is Maddie Rule again. And the Bee Diggers now lead by 10, 30-20. And Maddie Rule has 10 points in the game. The other way, Isabella Leet, left baseline, McClure hooks, misses back rim. Maddie Rule with a rebound. Here come the Bee Diggers the other way. Maddie Rule quickly into the front court. Maddie Rule on the right baseline, hooks it up and misses. The rebound is controlled by Elliott. Banks and scores. And now the Bee Diggers have taken control of the game, leading 32-20 with 6:13 to go as Kendall Elliott scored. Here's Isabella Leet the other way. Misses. Gherkin has a shot blocked. Gherkin gets it back, though. Gherkin looking, spinning it back out. 15-footer Leet is around and off to the right. And now there's a tie-up for the rebound. And possession arrow is pointing in Brush's direction.
That was a great job. Great court awareness from our girls there and being physical, knowing where the girls were going to be cutting to and getting in front of them, forcing them to put a sloppy shot up and then also getting the rebound. So what I noticed in that last series there is when McClure was down underneath and I had Elliott on her, they tried to motion away from Elliott. They'd rather see her, I think, go up against maybe Molly Link, which was the other person. Yeah, but they did not want to challenge too much against Elliott. They did against Molly Link. So that's kind of going to be an interesting thing to watch the rest of the game.
The Bee Diggers are on a 16-2 run and now lead by 12 and playing a lot smoother here over the latter part of the second quarter and early in the third. Again, it's Link, Rule, Keller, Elliott, and Odell, and they've been out there for the first 2 minutes.
Yep.
And let's see what Coach Hollander decides to do, knowing that this group is not doing well. They're rolling. I mean, they're beyond well right now. Allie Keller into the front court for the Bee Diggers on the outside left with the basketball. Lost it, got it back over to Elliott. Cross court towards Rule at the top. Rule back out to the left to Elliott. Elliott swings it cross court to Keller. Keller takes a dribble to her left, right corner, Rule. Rule lobs it down low for Elliott. Elliott double team bounce pass, taken by Elliott, I should say, from Link. And the shot is missed. Had my players all off there. Isabella Leet grabs the rebound, her 5th. On the outside left, Brovsky looking back out to Leet. On the high right to Bucco, bounce pass down low, off of Weld Central. Webble taken away by Elliott. That's turnover number 13 for Weld Central. Odell comes the other way. Odell on the outside left to Rule. Rule on the other top to Keller. Swings it right baseline. Odell shot is up and an air ball, but Rule has it and banks and misses, but she goes to the line. And the foul was committed by Emily Bucco, her second.
Emily just gave her a little bit of a shove there right as she was going up, and that was an easy foul to call.
Maddie Rule's doing it all right now. She could turn this into a rout, but the free throw is short. She's already in double figures. Jade Gleason makes her first appearance for Brush. Second free throw, good. That's 11 points for Maddie Rule. The Bead Diggers on a 17-2 run. In the backcourt with the basketball is Leet. Now crossing the timeline is Bucco. Bucco spinning on Keller. Back out straight away to Leet. Leet inside the three-point line. Now to Bucco. Right wing three, good. First three for Emily Bucco. The Bead Digger lead is down to 10, 33-23. 4:48 to go. Third quarter for Brush. The Bead Diggers are looking for their fifth win of the year. Cross-court pass intercepted by Bucco, and then she's fouled by Odell. She went up for the shot. The Bead Diggers turn it over for a 14th time of the game. Odell commits her first, and Bucco to the stride, but
I don't know that Bucco would have been able to put that basket in if she'd have just let her go. It didn't look like she was under control enough, and that was just kind of a sloppy shot or foul on the part of Odell.
That free throw is up and in, and she got all legs and knees on that one. And it's a single-digit game now at 33-24 as Weld Central scored the last 4 points. Second free throw by Bucco. Man, what a bend. She's almost down on the floor, and that's short. And the ball is tipped into the hands of Molly Link, her fifth rebound. Roll the other way, and as her pass intercepted, the jump pass by Bucco, bounce pass is taken away by Link. Now the game is getting sloppy once again. We've seen this already on multiple occasions in the opening half. Roll the other way. Gonna hand it off essentially to Keller. Bounce pass inside over to Gleason. She lost the ball out of bounds.
It was a low pass, and it was down by her, low below Gleason's knees, and she just couldn't grab a handle of it.
Bead Diggers applying the pressure in the backcourt. Here's Brovsky at midcourt over to Gherkin. Near the top to McClure, dribbling to her right. In between two, stripped away by Rule. And here comes Allie Keller. Keller with a 2-on-2. Keller all the way, scoops it up. Offensive foul on Allie Keller. The Bead Diggers commit their 17th turnover. And Keller with her second personal.
I like the aggressiveness, but we also had another girl that was open. Had she just been aware of where she was in the court, bounced the ball to her, we'd had a 2-point basket.
Maddie Kerr comes in for Maddie Rule. Yeah, the trailer was there.
Yep.
And to throw it in is going to be Bucco. Bucco to Brovsky, back to Bucco. Bead Diggers still lead by 9, nearly a steal by Keller in the backcourt, and it's still underneath their own basket. Weld Central's going to run out of time here, and Isabella Leet with half a second to go gets it across the timeline at the free throw line, and then wrestled away by Gleason, and then it was a traveling violation prior to that. So 16 turnovers on Weld Central. The Bead Diggers can go back up by double digits, up by 9 with 3:50 to go before the end of the third quarter. Allie Keller with the basketball on the outside left. Keller maintains the dribble, cross-court right baseline to Link. Link dribbles right baseline, nearly off her leg, spins, back out on the bounce to Odell. Odell looking, spinning, over to Keller. Keller, left corner Kerr, she takes the shot in and out, and the ball is volleyballed all around, loose on the floor, into the hands of the Weld Central Rebels as Bucco threw it over to McClure, and here's Leet the other way. Lead cross-court right wing, Bucco, another three, and that's off the bottom of the rim and out of bounds, Bead Digger basketball.
Yeah, Bucco just took a really long shot that time and didn't, when it came off her hand, you could tell it was going to be going pretty much wide right on her.
Katie Schmidt is into the game for the Rebels. Here comes Brush and Keller. Well, let's see if the Bead Diggers can go back up by 11 or 12. Odell on the outside right. Bounce pass in the right corner to Link. Down low for Gleason. She's got to handle the ball. That's twice that the ball's been thrown into Gleason. Maybe not the best passes, but she's not catching it initially, and then she's tied up, and possession arrows pointing in Weld Central's direction. If you're going to get the playing time, you have to catch the basketball.
Yeah, there's only so many opportunities you're going to get in there to make things happen. If you continue to make mistakes, coaches are going to have to make changes.
And then that pass is intercepted by the Bead Diggers and by Gleason the other way. Here's Sydney Odell. Odell then double dribbled.
And those are just mistakes. Like we said, John, we can't have those. We're back to playing that type of basketball midway through the first quarter.
Yeah, Brush got off to a great start here. And then we've got pushing violation, and now the game, again, just lacking any rhythm. Sydney Odell commits a foul at midcourt. That's her second. She's now out. Maddie Rule is back in, and we have a bevy of changes. Aurora Thomas is coming in for Brush, and she replaces Jade Gleason. So it's Thomas, Link, Stratman, Kerr, and Rule for Brush. Weld Central has made one substitution here in the third. Leet with the basketball with 2:43 to go in the third quarter. Over to Bucco, back to Leet on the outside right here. Schmidt straight away to Leet. They're just moving the ball around the perimeter. Bounce pass towards the free throw line, poked away by Link, taken away by Rule. Long pass towards Kerr, and that's intercepted over there by Isabella Leet. So we're back where we were 20 seconds ago. Here is Leet, left of the lane, at the free throw line, spinning. Ball is knocked away by Kerr. Kerr with the basketball. Kerr all the way, lays it up and in! Maddie Kerr scores off the steal, and the Bee-Diggers back up by 11, 35-24.
Boy, say what you want, John, but Maddie Kerr is a spark for this team. No matter, anytime she gets the ball in her hand, things are positive and they happen for the team.
This is going to be about the Maddies this season, Rule and Kerr.
Definitely.
If they don't play well, there's going to be trouble. Shot is partially blocked as it was taken by Leet. Now we got a whistle and a foul down low. And that could be Kerr with her third. And it is.
And that aggressiveness that she plays, sometimes it's going to draw a foul.
Sure. And there's the bounce pass, right baseline for Gherkin. She banks and misses it to right back and scores. And Rob Hastings makes the appearance at a basketball game, but did a great job with the wrestling last night with the Bee-Diggers winning the Battle of Morgan County. 35-26 right corner. Air ball is thrown up by Stratman. Coming away with the basketball is Emily Bucco of Weld Central. A minute 28 to go, third quarter. Bee-Diggers 35, the Rebels 26. On the outside right, Bucco. Bucco towards the top, 11 guarded by 11. Bucco picks up her dribble, and Maddie Kerr is right on top of her. Bounce pass near the timeline, back out to Gherkin. She's going to dribble it back out to Bucco. Down to a minute 9 to go. Bucco straight away. Bounce pass towards McClure, poked away by Kerr. And then Bucco tried to get it, and ooh. Did she save it in or not?
No.
Well, it didn't matter. Went off a
Bee-Digger.
doesn't
matter. Yep.
And Bucco to throw it in. There's the lob to McClure, right of the lane, pumps, and then puts it up and in, and she drove right by Molly Link.
Molly Link's got to slide her feet with her. As she starts to move, she's got to slide her feet.
35-28. Maddie Rule the other way on the outside left. Over to Thomas. Wide open three. She'll take it. She will miss it off the front of the rim. The ball is tipped around into the hands of Leet. And Leet falls down and gets it right back. Nice aggressive move there by Thomas on defense. Nearly was able to take it away, but Weld Central has the basketball. They could make this a 5-point game or a 4 with 36 seconds to go, third quarter. And then the bounce pass is intercepted by Maddie Kerr. Maddie Kerr the other way will lay it up, and she missed an easy one. And Weld Central comes away with the basketball. Bucco with a rebound. Weld Central turned it over for an 8th time here in the quarter. 20 turnovers in the game. 18 seconds to go on the outside right. Here's Katie Schmidt dribbling right baseline against Stratman. A foul on Stratman. That's going to be her first. Here's the other thing to consider, Ron. The Bee-Diggers have committed 5 team fouls. Weld Central only has 1.
Yep.
So, Weld Central's going to be aggressive there. They've got fouls to give, but the Bee-Diggers only have 1 foul to give before Weld Central's in the penalty. 3/4 court. Bucco to throw it in. Down by 7 of the Rebels. The bounce pass is into Schmidt. Schmidt near the top, guarded by Odell. Dribbling to her right. Then the ball is stripped by Kerr. Odell with 6 seconds to go at midcourt. Now with 5, straight away with 4. Right wing. Thomas fakes the 3. Right corner for Rule. Got to know the time. And then that's the end of the quarter. Not sure if they were aware of the time, but nonetheless, the Bee-Diggers did force another turnover. And an 8-point halftime lead is down to 7 after 3. 35-28 Bee-Diggers on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee-Diggers lead 35-28 going to the 4th. John Beltran with Ron Albo from the Digger Dome, and Brush has the basketball first. Keller along with Odell Elliott, Wooliver, and Molly Link. Here's Allie Keller on the outside right to Sydney Odell. Puts up the shot and hits it off the back of the rim. Rebound to Elliott. She hooks around and good. Kendall Elliott scores for the Bee-Diggers. They lead 37-28. 20 seconds into the 4th. Big rebound, big putback, by Elliott. Here's Weld Central the other way. Elliott has got 6 points in the game. On the outside right is Bucco. Bucco has the ball go off the leg. And now it's retrieved there at midcourt. Went off the leg of a teammate. Back on the outside right is Bucco, dribbling right baseline. 10-footer is the rounded good. Emily Bucco scores. So Bucco scores for Weld Central. She's got 9. The lead is back down to 7 at 37-30. Keller the other way for the Bee-Diggers at the top. Swings it left side to Odell. Left corner for Wooliver. Dribbles back out to Odell. Free throw line. Elliott steps in. 14-footer off to the left. Kind of forced that a little bit. And the rebound is controlled by Christina Gherkin of Weld Central, her 8th board. Across the timeline is Bucco. Bucco on the outside right, picked up by Odell. Maintains the dribble, puts up the 3, and that's going to be off the back of the rim. And Sydney Odell has the rebound for Brush, her 2nd. Odell across the timeline, swings it left baseline for Keller. Bounce pass, Link turns, banks, misses. And the rebound to Elliott. She goes back up and misses. And it's taken away again by Emily Bucco, her 7th rebound. And again, here come the Rebels. 6:20 to go in the game. Bee-Diggers up by 7, 37-30. Bucco bounce pass back out towards Rupel. Rupel to Bucco on the high right. Gets a pick, sets, puts up a long 3, and that hits the bottom of the backboard. And Allie Keller has the rebound for the Bee-Diggers. Keller across midcourt. Keller spinning to her right all the way, dribbles by 2, and then she lost the ball out of bounds. Nope. They're going to say it went off Weld Central.
We caught a break on that one. I think we did.
Yep. Katie Schmidt and Isabella lead back into the game for Weld Central. Maddie Rule back in for Brush. And to throw it in is Keller. In the right corner for Elliott. Back out to Odell. Straight away wide. No, you didn't take the 3. And now the Keller 3 left corner is no good. And the ball is loose, taken by McClure. I thought she should have taken the 3, referring to Maddie Rule there. She hesitated. Once you hesitate, you're out of rhythm. You can't take it. But that would have been a great catch and shoot there for her. McClure back out to Rupel. Maintains the dribble. And then her bounce pass is intercepted by Elliott. Elliott with 1 to beat is fouled in the front court by Rupel. 2nd team foul.
Yeah, Rupel saw her getting away, so she said, I'm just going to go ahead and tap the ball and take my chances of getting a foul.
It's not a bad foul.
No.
You don't want that layup. Maddie Kerr will come back in with 5.5 to go in the game. Still Brush 37, Weld Central 30. Kerr taps the basketball. In the right corner for Rule, back out to Kerr. Dribbles to her left, right of the lane. She leans, jump pass into Link, and she puts it up and misses. And then Maddie Kerr grabs the rebound, and she's fouled by Gherkin. Man, what a rebound that was for Maddie Kerr. Only her 2nd, but that was very aggressive off the bounce on the right baseline. 3rd team foul by Weld Central.
3 out of the 4 touches of that ball was Maddie Kerr.
Very, very aggressive, too, which I like. There's the miss on the right baseline, and it's taken away over there by McClure. The Rebels go the other way with the basketball. And the shot is missed left baseline by Leeds, and then trying to save it in was Katie Schmidt, Bee-Digger basketball. And both offenses have gone stagnant here. 2 points apiece. Jade Gleason getting ready to check back in. A lot of substitutions tonight for Brush. Link with the basketball on the outside right. Feeds it right corner for Rule. Rule dribbles right baseline. Jump pass to Elliott. Fakes, leans, and then has her shot blocked, but she's fouled. And Kendall Elliott to the stripe.
That time they had both girls from Weld Central come out there. Actually, we had a 2-on-2 underneath there. The ball was passed over to Elliott, and she just slapped her hand as she went up for the shot.
McClure commits her 3rd foul. The Elliott free throw is going to be an air ball by about a foot.
She was a little embarrassed on that one, I could tell. She walked away, shaking her head like, oh no.
Oh, it looked like it went off her hand, not her fingers. Thomas is back in with Gleason. Odell and Link are out. 2nd free throw is coming up for Kendall Elliott. That looks better, and it's short, though. And Jordan McClure has her 6th rebound. The Rebels still in this game, down by 7, 4:53 to go. In the left corner, Brovsky back out to Leet. Problem with Weld Central, they can't hit anything for the outside. They need the inside points from McClure to really stay in the game. Katie Schmidt looking down low. Bounce pass to McClure right baseline. She's fouled. That's the 16th foul, and that is on Jade Gleason.
And Jade's got 1 or 2 fouls?
That's just her first foul, yeah.
She's got.
But you don't want to foul in the entry passes.
No.
If you're going to foul, you want to foul something really down low, but that was just outside the lane. And Katie Schmidt is out, and Bucco to throw it in. In the right corner for Lee, bounce pass back out to Bucco. Turns, shot blocked from behind by Maddie Rule. Then we have a tie-up between Gleason and Allie Daniel, possession there at Weld Central. Has it for Brush. Here come the Bead Diggers the other way. Maddie Rule in the left corner for Thomas. Thomas takes the three, and that is no good. The rebound is controlled by Elliott Banks and scores. Kendall Elliott scores for the Bead Diggers. Kendall Elliott has 6 points and a half, 8 in the game. The Bead Diggers are back up by 9, 39-30. 4:08 to go. Left of the lane. McClure in the lane. Stripped by Gleason. Ball is loose on the floor, but it's taken over there top of the key by Bucco. Bucco right baseline. She double dribble. I'll say one thing for Brush in this quarter. They have not committed a single turnover, and we're nearly halfway through. Weld Central calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. 4:01 to go in the game. It's Brush 39, Weld Central 30. It's a 1-minute break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Bead Diggers get the inbounds pass and will cross the timeline here with Gleason. Bounce pass towards Thomas. Thomas at the top. Left baseline. Maddie Kerr dribbles to her right in the lane all the way. Banks and misses, but she's fouled. Maddie Kerr again with an aggressive move, and Brush can go back up by double digits. The foul was committed by Jordan McClure. That's her fourth. Maddie Kerr in, out, and in. She's got 7. Brush 40 and Weld Central 30.
I think once again, just like Tuesday night, when they have a chance to go to the free throw line, make them count. So far, we've been doing a pretty good job.
Weld Central in this half has attempted just 2 free throws, and Maddie Kerr drills the second. The Bead Diggers have attempted 6. Brush 41, Weld Central 30. Now just don't commit any fouls.
No.
I mean, make them earn it. Here's Emily Bucco dribbling right baseline, all the way, scoops it up, and she's fouled just as I said that. And she was totally out of control there. And for a team that scored 30 points in 27-plus minutes, 28-plus minutes, just let them shoot. But instead of foul was committed, Bucco to the stripe. And she's the only one who took free throws here in this half. And that was on Gleason, who committed her second. And the free throw is off to the right. Yeah, see, they're not shooting well. They don't look good shooting.
Nope.
I mean, there is not a reason to commit a foul against anybody on this team. Katie Monsey is into the game for Weld Central. Maddie Kerr is out. Haley Unrein is in for Brush. Second free throw is up, and that's off the back of the rim. Rebound to Monsey. Monsey's trapped in the lane, back out to Bucco, and had the three blocked by Unrein, taken away by Gleason. Nice job there by the Bead Digger Unrein.
Great job by Jay Gleason standing strong there and getting a hold of that ball.
Maddie Rule in the right corner. Dribbling is Thomas. Bounce pass to Unrein. Had it go through her hands, tries to save it in the corner, knocked out of bounds. Again, have to catch the ball first. We've seen too many instances where they're not catching the ball and the ball gets loose. Maddie Rule to throw it in three-quarters court. Throws it cross court towards Elliott. Dribbles right baseline all the way, scoops it up off the side of the backboard. Rebound, Unrein has her shot blocked. Ball is loose. It's off of Weld Central. Bead Diggers retain possession. Yeah, Brush is going to win this game because they're just the better team. But Weld Central, again, 5-2 going in. And the Elliott shot is missed right baseline. And it's taken away by Emily Bucco. They've got some talent there, but they just can't make too many shots. And shot is blocked away by Thomas, saves it into Bucco, and she scores in the right baseline. Check that, it's leaked instead. Her first points. And then we have a traveling violation on Unrein. First turnover by Brush here in the fourth quarter. 41-32, 2:56 to go. And Kerr's getting ready to check back in. And here comes Odell and now Molly Link. Sometimes I wonder if when they go to the sidelines, they should just stand for a few seconds instead of sit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, the rotations are coming in so quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take a seat because in the next 30 seconds I'm back in the game again.
Nice steal by Kerr, but taken away by Lee. Puts up a runner, and it hits nothing but backboard. And Lee gives it away to Kerr. Kerr with a basketball off the rebound. Kerr kicks it right baseline. Elliott. Shot is up and short. And Christina Gherkin has rebound number 10 for her. Weld Central down by 9, 2:34 to go in the game. 41-32 Brush. Straight away three is off to the right. Missed by Leet. Rebound McClure banks and she misses. Goes back up and misses. And then Molly Link comes away with a rebound and she's fouled. That's going to be the 16th foul. Nice job by Molly Link.
She got a forearm to the forehead.
She did, yeah. Brush basketball with 2:25 to go. And now Kendall Elliott is out.
Amber Stratman's in for her.
Stratman, Link, Kerr, Odell, and Rule for Brush. Here comes Maddie Rule the other way. Rule dribbling towards the top of the three-point circle. Back out to the left corner. Kerr wide open three. And that is off to the left. And the rebound to Maddie Rule. Banks and scores, and that's Maddie Rule tonight. That's her 7th rebound. She now has 13 points in the game. 43-32. Ball is loose on the floor. Knocked out of bounds. It stays. Oh, boy, but let me tell you, that she's close to a T, and she got it. Isabella Lee close to a T, mouthing off at the official in midcourt. She wanted a call there, a foul on a bead digger, and now we're going to have 2 free throws, and the bead diggers are going to have the ball, and this game's essentially over.
Yeah, you know, those emotions in the game like this, but you got to keep them in check. You cannot let yourself get out of control like that and get a stupid foul and, of course, a technical on top of it.
So Maddie Rule can give Brush a 13-point lead. She drills the first. She's got 14 points in the game, leading all scores. Second free throw, yes. Brush 45, Weld Central 32. And now, when you've got a big lead like this, you should be in no hurry to shoot.
No, just take your time, set the offense up.
And Kerr traveled. And that's the problem. You have to pass the ball. Pass, and Senior should know that better than anybody. It's turnover number 22 for the Bead Diggers, but only 2 in this quarter, so they have played under control a little bit better here in the final 6 minutes so far. 1:48 to go. Here's Bucco dribbling left baseline, and she looked like she double dribbled. She did.
Yep.
We've seen more double dribbles in this game than I've seen in the previous 15 games combined, I think.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
Turnover number 24 for Weld Central. Bead Diggers take a timeout, brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Home Auto Life and Health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Boys game will start a little bit tardy. As Brush is up 45-32 with 1:44 to go. And
you know, as I'm looking at the game, John, you know, it's like we said, Brush will probably win the game, and it's good because it's going to help their confidence. But honestly, it's kind of, I've just got to be completely honest, it's a false. They're not as good as the record's showing right now, just because of the fact of them not putting, the mistakes that they've had.
Well,
so they're a good ball team, and they got the potential to be really, really good, but the mistakes are what's going to haunt them.
What you're saying is absolutely correct. Okay. They say a win is a win. I don't believe a win is a win. I don't believe that for Brush this is termed a quality win.
No.
They were way too sloppy in the game. It's a win, but if they played a team that was to their caliber, they could have lost this game.
Yes,
They're beating a team that just cannot shoot, cannot execute. And the Bead Diggers have been good defensively. Give them that. There's no question about it. But it's not what I would consider a quality victory based on the number of errors they've committed. Here's Maddie Kerr across the timeline. Bounce pass right baseline to Link. Dribbles to her left. Back out to Rule. And that's a nice job by Maddie Rule. Just backing it out. You got a 13-point lead with 1:28 to go in the game. Lob right baseline. That was forced, though. Tipped away. Intended for Stratman. And it's intercepted there by Isabella Leet. Weld Central comes the other way. Katie Schmidt with the basketball in the left corner. Lobs it towards the top to Bucco. Bucco dribbling to her right. Puts up a little 16-footer, and that's an air ball, and it's saved in beautifully by Girk, and then McClure is fouled.
Boy, I just don't see that foul. Molly had her feet set. Her hands were up.
No, they called on Stratman instead, Ron. So that might have been from a different angle.
True.
Yeah, might have been from a different angle, but Christina Gherkin grabbing her 11th rebound and getting it to McClure, who's at the line. And her free throw is in. The Bead Diggers still up by 12, 45-33. Second free throw upcoming. And that is up, and that is good. Now let's see if Weld Central is going to be fouling anytime soon. I'm not crazy about games turning into fouls. They already have a steal there in the backcourt, and Bucco nearly tied up, and she is tied up. Possession arrow Brush.
Yeah, Bucco, great hustle under the basket to tip the ball into another. I can't remember the girl's name. 32 into her hands.
Yeah, Katie Schmidt.
Schmidt, and then back to Bucco again.
And Brush calls another timeout, brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. The Bee Diggers had no turnovers for the first 4 minutes of the quarter. Now they've got 4 in the last 3 minutes. And they have got 24 in the game, as does Weld Central. Weld Central actually has 25. Brush 45, Weld Central 34, and even 1 minute to go in this game from the Digger Dome, with the boys' game coming up.
And for Brush right now, what they've got to do is just keep Weld Central on the perimeter. Just let them pass the ball around. Make them pass it enough to get a good shot. Don't give them an easy bucket underneath. And definitely do not foul anybody. Let's just get out of this game with a minute to go.
And I would assume that's the message being delivered by Coach Hollander right now. And you do all those essentials, and you finish strong. And they're going to win the game, but again, they want to finish the way they started the first 30 seconds of this game, when they executed on both sides with a bucket and a turnover that they forced. Odell, Kerr, Keller, Maddie Rule, and Molly Link for Brush. It is Leet, Schmidt, Gherkin, Bucco, and McClure for Weld Central. Bounce pass into Maddie Kerr. She can dribble right across the timeline. Does beautifully up the right side against Leet. 52 seconds to go, and the Bee Diggers are in no hurry to shoot. They got to spread it out, and Kerr is fouled by Leet. That'll be the 7th, maybe the 18th foul up there. Leet commits her 4th, and here is Maddie Kerr with a 1-and-1. Free throw is good. Maddie Kerr today, 5 out of 5 from the line.
And if you're going to foul somebody, that's not the one that you don't want to foul tonight. So
she got excellent form. Look at that form. Perfect.
Yep.
And that one is in. Nice and easy. Bee Diggers up by 13, 47-34 after 2 more free throws there by Kerr. On the high left, lead down low for Gherkin, threw her hands out of bounds. Turnover number 26 for Weld Central. Oh, I'm telling you, Ron, I hate this with a passion. 43 seconds to go. Now it's going to be the foul game, and the Bee Diggers get it in.
Exactly.
There's Maddie Rule back out to Odell. Odell's still in the backcourt trying to cross the timeline, and she's fouled by Gherkin with 35.9 seconds to go. Gherkin with her 4th foul as well. Another 1-and-1. Odell has 3 points tonight. Free throw by Sydney Odell is up and off to the left. And the ball is tipped into the hands of Schmidt. Oh, was she fouled? Yeah, well, that's a freebie right there. Odell commits her 3rd. And Katie Schmidt has not scored in the game. 19 foul against the Bee Diggers. And the free throw is up and around and off to the left. And the ball is off. We have a whistle and a foul. Apparently McClure had the rebound, and she was fouled by Rule. Maddie Rule commits her 2nd foul. This game has come to a standstill now.
And we've seen it time and time again. In a basketball game like this, the last minute of the game can just drag on for an eternity because of fouls and mistakes like that at the end of a game.
47-35, second free throw. McClure is up and a little bit deep, and it looked like Link was fouled, and there's bodies flying out there. No whistle and a tie-up. Possession arrow stays with Weld Central.
Well, McClure just gave her a piece of her body and just basically Melly just went flying across the court.
Yeah, it looked like there was contact there. That something should have been called, but no whistle. Bucco to throw it in. Left corner pass to McClure. 27 seconds to go. Left of the lane, stripped. Then she gets it back, turns, misses. Rebound, put back, Gherkin. She scores off the glass. Gherkin has 12 rebounds tonight and 7 points. 47-37. 16 seconds to go in the game, and Odell's going to be fouled just beyond midcourt. Oh, no, they're going to say knocked it. Wow. There's a lot of contact there. He just knocked it out of bounds. I can't believe it's not a foul. Odell bounce pass is nearly picked off. It is picked off. Here is lead all the way. Shot blocked over there by Maddie Kerr. And then that ball is loose on the floor. Time goes to Brush.
Nice hustle by Maddie Kerr, just getting her hand up there. And she got a piece of the ball, only not her hand. Nice clean block.
Are you kidding me?
and then a timeout.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's
calling a full timeout.
We've got a 10-point game spread on the game right now.
This is what it drives me insane. I mean, it's ridiculous. Here, I don't care if it's a 5-second timeout. It's a 10-point game. The other team has the ball. The one thing, if you're the coach, in my opinion, that you instruct them, just let them inbound it, play defense, no foul. That's it. I mean, anything other than a foul here, I mean, sure, you go for the steal. You'll play all out, but certainly not an intentional foul.
Yeah. The chances of a victory at 6.5 seconds with the 10-point spread is pretty much impossible.
Oh, it is, unless the rules have changed on how much you can score in one bucket.
Yeah, last I checked when we came in, you either got 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, I've heard the talk of a 4-pointer.
Oh, no.
At the NBA level. Elliott, long pass into Kerr. Kerr with the basketball all the way, scoops it up and in.
That seals the deal.
And that's it. The Brush Speed Diggers have won the game tonight over the Weld Central Rebels, 49-37. Let's take a 3-minute break. We're back in 3 minutes. And Ron and I will wrap up game one of this doubleheader after this on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee Digger post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling Brush and Fort Morgan, your headquarters. For all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed, Mr. D's Ace Home Center. John Beltran back with Ron Albo at the Digger Dome, where the Lady Diggers won tonight. Brush Girls winning 49-37, leading Weld Central 11-10 after one. And then they went on a critical 17-2 run. And that was basically end of the second quarter into the early third quarter. That 15-point run, that 15-point difference in the run, that was certainly the mathematical difference in the game. They were up 26-18 at the break, 35-28 after 3, and then outscored Weld Central 14-9 in the fourth. The visiting Rebels had 12 points from Isabella Leet, 9 from Jordan McClure, and Emily Bucco, and 7 from Christina Gherkin, who had 12 rebounds tonight. And for the Bee Diggers, 15 points from Maddie Rule, 12 from Maddie Kerr, 8 points in the game from Kendall Elliott, 4 apiece from Molly Link and Allie Keller, and then trifectas by Sydney Odell and Aurora Thomas. The Bee Diggers unofficially out-rebounded 39-33. Christina Gherkin with 12 rebounds. I just talked about that for Weld Central. And then the Bee Diggers got 7 from Maddie Rule. Free throw line. Didn't play much of a role here. Weld Central in the second half went 4 out of 9. That's certainly not good. They were under 50%. Or check that, 8 out of 15 in the game, barely over 50%. But the Bee Diggers, because of what Maddie Kerr did, she was 6 out of 6 in the game from the line. And the Bee Diggers were 12 out of 18. And because math is supposedly my strength, that's 67% or 66.6667%. All right, knock it off with being a smart aleck, John. But anyway, that was part of the difference is they were able to make the shots down the stretch, at least for the line, just to pull away. They had control of this game throughout. Weld Central with 26 turnovers, Brush with 25. If you're looking at it from a numerical standpoint with the TOs by the Bee Diggers, well, I think you want to get somewhere in that maybe 12 to 15 range, Ron. 25 is just obviously way, way too many.
Yeah, definitely you can't have those turnovers. And those are things that you're preaching, and those are things that you have to continue to work on. And I think what you got to do is it's definitely got to be a focus of your practice. You've got to say, we cannot have turnovers, and we've got to put them in a position and show them what was causing the turnovers, and then how do we work on it so that we don't do the same thing over and over again. I think if you look at the free throw lines, when you talk about something as a positive there, anytime we get an opportunity to go to that free throw line and we can sink the baskets, when you're talking 60% or better, we'll take that. You know, you throw in the 3-point shots, the 2 points, fouls are going to happen in the game, but if we can capitalize on that, that's definitely going to help us out. So, you know, they've got a lot of things to work on. They've got a lot of positives that come out of this game, just like we talked on Tuesday night. Everything that they've had to deal with in the adversity and the problems that plagued them the last couple of days, they can fix those. It's definitely manageable.
Weld Central had 9 different players make an appearance in this game. Brush had 12 different players, which is essentially 2 different lineups and then some. And, you know, we were talking about this throughout the course of the game. we'll see what happens with chemistry. But anytime you use that many players, the risk there is that the chemistry might be lacking at certain times. We'll see. It's only 6 games in. You got Fort Morgan tomorrow, but we have seen signs the last 2 games where the runs the Bee Diggers are having are coming in small spurts. They had a 17-2 run tonight over the second quarter and the third quarter, but I'm sure what Coach Hollander wants is a run that's more extended. So the trick is, Ron, how do you balance the rotations with more consistent basketball? And those two have not fused together as of yet, even though Brush is 5-1. That's got to fuse together a little bit more, and I think you hit the nail on the head. That's just going to come with practice.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to make that call sooner or later. I think what we got to look for after the first of the year, I'm going to say, like we talked earlier, the first 2 weeks of the season, they have got to settle in on a more consistent lineup. They really do, because in this sport, like any other sports, especially on the court, knowing where your players are, when you got the same group, let's go 5, 6, maybe 7 is really pushing it. But that main 5 has got to be on there so that they know where they're at. When they're playing against these quality teams, we get into our league play, those teams are probably going to be set like that. We're talking Sterling. We're talking, Frontier Academy. We're going to talk Eaton. Those teams consistently play a solid group of girls week after week. They have their substitutions, but we've got to settle into a group like that. I think that's where we're going to see the biggest benefit for us.
Bee Digger Player of the Game is brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. Well, Maddie Kerr was the player of the game on Tuesday, but it's got to be the other Maddie today.
Yes,
Maddie Rule,
definitely.
she was terrific on both ends, and with her play, the Bee Diggers were able to win this game by 12.
I like her play underneath the basket, being strong, being physical. She's a tall, lanky type girl. She's not, as big as some of the other girls as far as weight-wise, but she's very physical. She's not afraid to get in there and mix it up. And so you're exactly right in her being the player of the game, and then also just taking charge when she needed to take charge.